the statute.
And future generations. You see, it's very, if you absent a machinery, let's just keep just suspend the submission with regard to that this datum line is bad. Keep that aside. The moment you have a situation where you are recognizing a particular set of people and conferring upon them citizenship automatically, which according to us ought not to be done, what happens as far as the next generation is concerned? So you are actually cementing something which has happened in a illegal manner.
So one more thing which we'll have to bear in mind,
Yes.
6A was enacted at a point of time which is deeply connected to our history, namely that India had a very vital role, if I may use that expression, in the creation of Bangladesh, because we were part of the war as much as Bangladesh was.
We were.
The immigration which took place, Parliament seems to have proceeded on the basis that the immigration which took place cannot be regarded purely on the footing of an illegal immigration, but it was something which was...
S.K. Sinha, the then governor of Assam, in a report on illegal migration of Assam submitted to the President of India on 8th November 1998, mentioned that the unabated influx of illegal migrants from Bangladesh into Assam and the consequent perceptible change in the demographic pattern of the state has been a matter of grave concern, which threatened to reduce the Assamese people to a minority in their own state, as happened in Tripura and Sikkim. He further stated that the Bangladeshi illegal migrants posed a much greater threat in Assam than any other state, and if the infiltration was not effectively checked, the infiltrators might swamp the Assamese people and might sever the northeast landmass from the rest of India. Some of his observations are as follows. A. Bangladesh census records indicate a reduction of 39 lakh Hindus between 1971 and 1981, and another 36 lakhs between 81 and 89. These 75 lakhs, 39 plus 36 Hindus have been obviously coming to India. In 1970, the total population of East Pakistan was 7.5 crores. But in 1974, it had come down to 7.14 crores. On the basis of a 3.1% annual population growth of that period, the population of 1974 should have been 7.7 crores. The shortfall of 6 million people can be explained by large-scale migration. Muslim population of Assam has shown a rise of 77.42% in 1991 from what it was in 1971. Hindu population has risen by nearly 41.89% in this period. Muslim population of Assam has risen from 24.68% in 1951 to 28.42% in 1991. The much higher percentage of growth of Assam from 1911 to 1971 over the All India and Bangladesh figures indicate migration into Assam. Then please go to paragraph 1.8.1, which is on the next page.
The only thing caveat which we may have to have is that these were inputs to the committee. I'm not sure whether these are authentic figures, whether they are accepted by the government. Figures of the government of India, our census, we can safely go by, there's no difficulty. But, something which is an input to the committee for us to proceed as a constitutional court, on those, somebody may say these figures were not right. Obviously,
no, I understand, but
Lieutenant General Sinha submitted it, so he sent it with a great deal of responsibility. But accuracy, we don't know. I mean, a broad trend, yes, it may convey a broad trend, but the specific figures, I'm not sure whether that it would be safe to rely on.
I think, Your Lordship may take it as a trend. Your Lordship may take this as a trend, but it's an important trend. Now, please see, for our purposes, if Your Lordship is pleased to go to para 1.8.1 on the next page. Open Indo-Bangladesh border, unrestricted infiltration and encroachment on Char and other lands of adjoining districts. The most serious threats to the land rights of indigenous people of Assam, more precisely to the very identity of indigenous people of Assam, comes from the unabated mass infiltration from the landmass now comprised in Bangladesh through the wide open Indo-Bangladesh international border versus Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. The fact is that a predominant majority of people of doubtful origin occupied the vast Char areas under the explosive growth rate of population. There are few other districts like Barpeta, Bongaigaon, Darang, Dhubri, Golpara, Hailakandi, Karimganj, Morigaon, and Naugaon, which are most seriously affected and have contributed largely to changing the demographic pattern of Assam. In this background, the land rights of indigenous people, as also their identity, are at stake. The conclusion is obvious that in case no effective constitutional, legal, and administrative steps, including sealing off of the Indo-Bangladesh border and detection and deportation of illegal immigrants are taken, the indigenous people are bound to be reduced to a landless class of people and to become foreigners in their own home. Then please see para 1.9. Graphic depiction of the decadal population growth of Assam in India. It will be seen from the table given below that the population growth rates of Assam have consistently been higher than those in India as a whole since 1901 up to 2011. Further, the index of density of population of Assam has been consistently higher than that of India since 1971 up to 2011, except that of 1981, which was at a level of 230:230, as this figure was not based on decadal census but was only interpolated. What must be remembered is that the relatively lower population density of Assam prior to 1971 compared to India had later not only caught up with but excelled those of the Indian average density. The higher density of Assam's population can be attributed to the higher growth rate of the Muslim population, particularly in the immigrant-dominated districts. Tables 1, 2, and 3 below respectively show the population trends in Assam and India, religion-wise, population growth as per the census report of 2011 and the districts with religion-wise majority of population. So there are further inputs on the basis of the census figures which are available. And if your lordships would now move further down to 1.14.
How many districts does the state have?
How many districts in the state?
Present 34.
34.
Present
34.
There is some reduction last month. We are bringing it down to 31.
31.
31.
So you'll find the years which are given in 1901 onwards, census years. And please see the population of Assam and as against that the population of India. Then the percentage decadal variation is indicated in the next column. And then please see the density. Now in 1901, you will find that density as far as Assam is concerned is 42 per person per square kilometer, whereas the national density was 77 persons per square kilometer. Then please have a look at 1951. By now it is 102, but it is still below the All India density, which is 117. And then if you see the 2011 figure, the density per person has now gone up to 398 persons per square kilometer and exceeded the national figure of 368 persons per square kilometer. So from being well below in 1901, there has been a considerable increase. And as we saw from the committee report, they have said that please ignore 1981 because that was an extrapolation. But for all the other years, your lordships will find that 91, 2001 and 2011, the density far exceeds the national figures. Yes. And your lordships will see that the source at the foot of page table 1.1 is Census of India. 2011. Your Lordship may just see the foot of, sorry, not foot, but page 2733, just below foot of table 1.1. The source for those figures is indicated as being the Census of India 2011.
Actually,
Yes.
Just to analyze that table, since
Yes.
based on the census,
1.1.
interesting, 1.1, something very interesting emerges from that. If you see the population, we'll not go by the percentage increase, we don't know it, we have only the percentage decadal variation. 1901, the total population is 33.
Yes.
11, it becomes 38. Look at the rate of growth, 5. 30, 21, 46. 31, 56. 41, 67. Slight is about a 10 lakh increase. Then again 51, 80. Between 51 to 61, the population really jumps from 80 to 108, almost a 28 lakh increase over 80 lakhs, which is almost a 25% increase. Then see what happens between 61 to 71. It increases from 108 to 146. That is a 38 lakh increase over 108, which is again almost 33% increase. Then 71 to 81. This is a crucial period for our purposes because that's when the liberation takes place, the war, the 25th March cutoff. So 71, it is 146, right? And then 81. So 61 to 71, it increases from 108 lakhs to 146 lakhs.
That's the crucial period.
Yes. And 71 to 81.
That's a projection.
It increases to, it's a projection, is it? Interpolation,
Yes.
they say. It is roughly, it increases again by 34 lakhs to 180. 81 to 91, it goes to 224. There is a 44 lakh increase. Again, 91 to 2001, it increases by 40 lakhs. And then 2001 to 2011, it increases to 312, which is almost like a 44 plus 12, 56 lakh increase. At the same time, Mr. Diwan, we have to be very careful. We are not in this case, as a reference to the Constitution bench, we are not really looking at what is happening today or post the 1985 amendment, the post the accord and the amendment to the of Section 6A. We are looking specifically at a period which is frozen in time, right?
I would say you look at both because if I'm...
No, we can't. Well, we cannot adjudicate upon the validity of that Section 6A on what has happened subsequently, because assuming you're right, we'll put it in your favor.
Of the statute.
We will put it in your favor that there has been a sudden increase in the infiltration according to you, post the amendment as well. But will that have an impact on the validity of the amendment itself?
No, I'm not for a moment suggesting that.
Right.
Not my submission. My submission essentially is that according to us, the amendment doesn't stand for the reasons which I broadly indicated.
You have now shown us the cultural,
on this aspect,
the cultural identity that you have formulated your. We'll have
but
to
on
get the
this
other side on it.
aspect, I think this is sorry.
You can't test it.
This may be a facet with regard to our arguments on identity, on cultural rights, on indigenous peoples, etc. And the dilution, and ultimately it will translate into a complete dilution of your political rights as well. So what we are saying, and eventually this, your Lordship sees that this report is with regard to land and what is happening with regard to the extensive encroachments.
Suppose the amendment by the legislature was, we're giving you a hypothetical.
Yeah.
Suppose the amendment of the legislature was that anybody who has entered into Assam after 25th of March 1971 will for 10 years not deleted from the electoral roll. After 10 years, they will get citizenship. Then perhaps it would have been a completely different scenario because then you are encouraging illegal infiltration by saying that, look, you come here for 10 years, you will not be in the electoral roll and thereafter you get citizenship. That's not the amendment which the legislature has.
So this is what the amendment which the legislature has done. We'll see the provision, of course.
What it does is freezes it at 71.
It freezes it at 71 and incentivizes people to remain.
It's a one-time measure.
No, I'm not saying it's not a one-time measure, but look what's happened over here. What's happened over here is twofold. First of all, there has been nothing subsequent to that because we've seen the figures, etc. Even post 1985, the influx continues. But today, as a result of not enforcing the law, which was that illegal immigrants have to be identified and appropriate action taken in accordance with law, that has been completely given a go by, and this is being used as some sort of a shield. The result, so my primary point is that this provision itself is bad. You could not have, having regard to the constitutional mandate and your obligation as the state to protect my cultural rights, to allow a continuous dilution all the way up to when the statutory provision was introduced in the first instance. And because that itself resulted in a tremendous dilution, and then it has a multiplier effect, because by recognizing these people, one, by not taking any action which you are required and obliged to do, because they are completely in default as noticed by this court in the reference order judgment itself, what is left of my cultural rights? What's left of my land? What's left of my economic rights? And you're issuing electoral cards over here and giving people a right to vote. So how is that to be countenanced? I mean, this is the essence of this kind of demographic invasion. And therefore we say that, look, if you're so welcoming, please don't burden the state of Assam. You have so many border states. Where's the question of having a special regime only for Assam? Then you have this regime for everybody. You may have some historical justification for the accord. Well and good. But I'm sorry.
According to you,
yeah,
consequence does matter.
Yes, it does matter. Effect of the order, effect of the law.
On two broader grounds. One is, according to you, it will facilitate the another set of illegal migrants to come, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, the consequence is that, that group becomes larger.
Yeah.
It affects.
Yes.
So to that extent, you say that consequence will have to be written to the statute.
And future generations. You see, it's very, if you absent a machinery, let's just keep suspend the submission with regard to that this datum line is bad. Keep that aside. The moment you have a situation where you are recognizing a particular set of people and conferring upon them citizenship automatically, which according to us ought not to be done, what happens as far as the next generation is concerned? So you are actually cementing something which has happened in a illegal manner.
So one more thing which we'll have to bear in mind,
yes,
Mr. Diwan, is that if the legislature, if the parliament were to merely grant amnesty to a group of illegal immigrants, that would be a very different situation.
It would be a very different
situation.
Yeah.
But we can't deny the fact that 6A was enacted at a point of time which is deeply connected to our history, namely that India had a very vital role, if I may use that expression, in the creation of Bangladesh, because we were part of the war as much as Bangladesh was.
We were.
The immigration which took place, Parliament seems to have proceeded on the basis that the immigration which took place cannot be regarded purely on the footing of an illegal immigration, but it was something which was really a humanitarian aspect of what the atrocities which were being committed on the population in East Pakistan, which is why India intervened. The war took place, there was a liberation, Bangladesh was created.
Correct.
And therefore this was not just looked at by Parliament from the perspective of an illegal immigration,